In today's behind the scenes, we're going to talk about Micah's big adventure because today, and here is how good of a friend I am, I'm going to share it with everybody.
All right, go ahead.
I'm going to tell everybody. I gave Micah my spot. I didn't give you my spot, but I sent him. You didn't steal it. I suggested you go up there to shoot this really cool scene that you're gonna talk about while I was shooting a junkyard. And it's not because we didn't trust you go down to shoot a junkyard.
No, it's because I got to go drink the PhotoFlight Kool-Aid.
But I had 2 appointments that we had, set up from a long time ago down in Staten Island, and it was both of them kind of interesting, so in their own way. But you got to have some fun with Mike. Meanwhile, up in Minuteman Airfield.
Minuteman Airfield in Stowe, Massachusetts.
In Stowe, Massachusetts, which is a very small airfield, right? It's like a general aviation, non-towered airport.
It was a great airport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you... At least I stole the Inspire too.
Yeah.
See, my shoot...
That was a disappointment for me.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Yeah. Because I needed the right speed for this shot just to get that. We needed it in RAW. So you got to play with the Inspire 1 Pro. So this was your trial by fire a little bit with the Inspire 1 Pro because you've done the Inspire 2.
I'm spoiled.
You've done... Yeah, you are spoiled. The pros, they've been around for a while. So sorry about stealing the good machine. But it seems like you guys, I watched the footage, seems like you guys got by just fine.
Yeah, we did.
So what did you go there to do?
So we were there to do an NBC Boston promo shoot.
Yeah.
And so I was there with PhotoFlight, your company.
Yeah.
So thank you for that very much.
Well, thank you for being there for us.
So I went up there with Mike.
Yeah.
And so what we were doing is we were going to be doing a promo video about all the NBC Boston weather vehicles.
Okay.
So they have
weather vehicles.
Name like Storm Ranger. That's the only one I can remember. Sky Ranger.
So what would they? One of them I saw had a Doppler radar on it.
Yeah.
So those kinds of things they sent out if there is some weather events just to kind of keep an eye on it and report the most accurate weather. Which, this is New England.
Yeah, we need up-to-date weather.
So you want to be on the spot, literally, because it changes every 5 minutes. So I can see we're not necessarily Tornado Alley, even though we did have tornadoes. We had a few.
A few bad ones.
But so how many vehicles?
4.
4 vehicles.
Well, 4 ground vehicles.
4 ground vehicles. Oh, really? Yeah, there was one non-ground vehicle.
There was one aerial vehicle there that was not the one that we were flying.
Yeah. So you got to chase a helicopter around.
That was...
As the helicopter was following these.
Bucket list shoot today. History books for this guy.
Well, 3 weeks from now, we'll very likely be in Caribbean chasing around flying boats. So I'll remember you flying around the helicopter in Boston.
Yeah, that's a fair trade considering.
That's a fair trade, yeah. But so you got to, obviously there are a couple challenges besides of having the 2 operator deal. You were at the airport and were there still flights coming in and out of the airport?
Yeah, the airport was open.
Oh, really? So did you guys have to move out? So you were shooting this on the runway, right? So you just have to listen to your radio.
Standing on the taxiway.
Wow, you're standing on a taxiway as you're flying a drone, following things on runway. And so who was in charge of the how is that communication with the airplanes, and how did you guys coordinate that?
Okay, so we had a ground VHF radio on our hip, and we had that tuned to the local CTAF, which is Common Traffic Advisory Frequency.
Yeah.
And you'll find that in your sectional chart.
Yep. Or if you don't have a sectional, where else can you find that actually?
Airnav.com is a good one.
Okay.
The official answer is through the, what are they called?
Facility directory.
Yeah, not anymore. Chart supplement. That's what it's officially called.
Oh, yeah. They changed the name.
Changed the name. So that's where you'll find the actual frequency.
And that's the radio frequency for non-towered airports that the airplanes or whoever happens to be in the airspace communicate on. Not all the airplanes have radios still, right? I've seen some Cubs and some of these small ones that are not required, so not everyone communicates, but those guys just have to look out. So I can imagine if you see a helicopter and 4 weather trucks on the runway, you're probably not going to... You're not gonna, try to land unless there is some emergency. So you had the radios on you, and so when you had somebody announcing they were on base, downwind, upwind.
Anytime an aircraft entered the pattern, we agreed that we would ground the drone.
Gotcha.
And then once they were clear of the runway, and onto the taxiway. Then we could get back up.
Okay, what about helicopter? How did you coordinate that? So you were flying. There was one of the scenes where you had the 4 trucks driving down the runway, followed by the helicopter flying low, and you guys were flying along that, right?
Yeah.
So how did you coordinate with the pilot? How did that work?
Okay, well, first of all, the helicopter was a surprise. We did not know that was coming. And
So did they tell you, or did you just show up?
as soon as we got there, they told us that we may have this. It wasn't set in stone yet.
That's awesome.
It was going to be a few
It costs
hours.
a lot of money to run a helicopter, so they threw some pretty penny into this shoot. Yeah, cool. So
that was their NBC Boston helicopter.
Yeah.
Or, I think that's actually shared by several networks, but it's one of the news helicopters from the Boston market.
Yep. Okay, so the helicopter showed up. Well, how was the pilot? Did you guys?
Yeah, no, we hit it off. We're best friends now.
You're best friends now? Are you friends on Facebook too?
No, so it's not official.
It's not official yet. Okay, it's not sealed. So you talked him. Did you talk him through the scenes? Who was running? So was there a DP? Was there somebody who kind of had a shot list?
There was no DP. There was no shot list. They let us just do whatever we want. I mean, they had some.
Oh, cool.
They all collectively had a few shots in mind.
Yeah.
And so we just picked their brains and sort of went from there.
So you were pretty much building a library for them.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So did you guys got to line up all the shots, or did he come up with some shots that he can do, or you?
Really, all they told us, like, okay, well, we want some tight shots and then we want some wide ones.
Yeah. Oh.
That was about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That was the direction.
With the helicopter, there was a pretty big powwow as far as determining what we were going to do.
Yeah.
And so anyone that had a role of authority there was in on this conversation. And we ended up deciding that the helicopter was going to stay on the west side of the runway or over the center line.
Yeah.
And then we had from the taxiway
over.
So there was a good 200 to 300 foot buffer zone.
Gotcha.
Laterally.
So the grass strip between the runway and the taxiway was the separation that you had from the helicopter at all times.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys set up your own little airspaces. That's a smart. Who came up with that? That's a pretty smart way of doing it.
I don't know. I sort of stumbled in like a couple seconds late.
You should have said I did. No,
it wasn't me.
Good. You're honest. That's good.
Yeah.
But no, that's a great way of going about it.
So we were doing dual operator, first of all. So I was flying and Mike was operating the camera. In that situation, Mike was telling me what to do.
Yeah.
He would, he'd tell me, all right, so just line up the drone on the center line behind everything.
Yeah.
And then once it gets moving, just start chasing them. And then I'll tell you, go right, go left, slower, faster, closer, further away, higher.
Lower, faster, closer?
Yeah, generally lower, faster,
That's my
closer.
favorite, yeah.
But it was fraught with danger.
Was it?
All the way down the runway, because that's also where they park the airplanes.
Oh, so you had to fly over the because you're on that side of the taxiway.
Yeah.
Wow, so that's all the air. So you're flying over that.
Yeah, and then you're sending it down.
Tread carefully.
Almost 3,000 feet down the runway, and at that point,
Yeah.
You can hardly almost see the thing.
It's a small dot.
Yeah.
All right. So those were the challenges for you. So you had the Inspire 1 Pro with the X5. What lens did you put on there?
The 15 mil.
The 15.
Because
I
stole.
I
stole 25 mil.
I stole the 25. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
No, you'd have. I think 15 mil would be on. If you had to fly that distance, here's the thing. I wouldn't. This was really your first 2 operator with Mike.
Yeah, that was our first one.
Yeah, and I don't think 25 would be a good way to begin getting into
Could be
that
too shaky.
for a new team. Yeah, because it's a long lens, so you have to be further out from things. It's a little different flying. Not saying you guys wouldn't. I'm sure you would get into it, but it's a little bit different. I wouldn't want to introduce that element to a 2 operator team that hasn't really worked together before. Really.
Well, especially with
you
this
both
location.
obviously worked as 2 operators separately, so you fly as a single, you fly as a 2 with the Inspire 2. You're fluent in both. He's fluent in both, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you'll be fine working together. On
it was a little
project.
challenging at first, but we kind of got a rhythm and
got into the sync. So I wouldn't introduce a longer lens to that mix.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Especially with this location, the further away you got, the less room you had.
Yeah, and
because the trees started to come in.
Yeah, the trees were coming in there. I think you were in a good shape actually with the 15 there. How did you set up the camera? Was it?
So we were shooting in log.
Yeah.
And then we just desaturated it just a hair.
Yep.
decontrast just a hair, and soften just a hair.
De-sharpen like by -1, -1, -1, and D-log.
Yeah,
you did D-log.
There was a time where I had to bump up the ISO a little bit to get the right exposure for D-log.
Yeah.
Just because it was too dark.
Yeah, really, you couldn't open it up.
Yeah, I couldn't. I would have just dragged out the shutter speed. And I didn't want to there.
So you bumped it up to 200.
Yeah.
Okay, the 200 is it's good.
Yeah,
it doesn't really do anything or introduce too much noise. Okay, do you find why did you flatten it out, like decontrast and desaturate it with the D-Log? Do you find it helps it a bit, or is it something that they asked for?
That was the client request.
They asked for it. Okay, cool.
We recommended a few. That was the one they wanted, so that's what we went with.
Yeah. Great. Well, it looked pretty good. I can say. So, are you gonna be flying with Mike again?
Oh heck yeah!
Yeah, you're hoping.
That was a lot of fun.
Maybe I'll let you have the Inspire too.
That would have been the shoot for it.
I've seen some other things both of you have flown. I don't know if I can trust you with my baby. I'm very protective of the Inspire. No, I do like that machine, but I do share. I'm glad you got to do it. So the junkyard shoot was awesome.
Yeah,
too.
tell us about it.
I was actually
very hazy.
It's for this. Yeah, well, it's EI mode. It wasn't really that hazy. I will grade it for you. We just talked about a workflow, so I'll apply my workflow. I'll show you. But no, we all right. It was a little hazy, but I had two things down there. One of them was this huge shopping mall. It's a commercial real estate shoot in Staten Island, and we've been doing their construction progress for, oh my God, I don't even know how long now. But they had their grand opening today, so I was there for that, and I was also doing some interior shots, some interior photography. So I had that going for me. But then the fun part, I got to. Do you remember in Staten Island that place Arthur Kill, the
ship graveyard?
The ship graveyard, yeah,
spooky place.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
They're taking the ships out. I saw like they're
that's great
they're
for
still
the
there,
environment,
so go
but
and
poor
hit it.
for us.
Yeah, so if you guys haven't heard about Arthur's Kill, I hope I remember. I'll put a link to a show notes just about that place. A few
link your
videos
last
from
video there too.
Yeah, yeah. And it's a graveyard. It's an abandoned ship graveyard. And what they did, they basically just like beached, or not even, they like left these old ships just to rot in the river, and it just looks very spooky.
Yeah.
This summer we worked on this TV series, and they asked if we can there is a chase scene that ends in a junkyard in Staten Island, and they just asked to have some kind of rush shots that would show the neighborhood and show junkyard. And I found a spot where I can fly near Arthur's Kill, so I started over the river. It was outside. You know, Newark, the generous ATC there, in the facilities map, they put all 0 squares.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Luckily, this is outside of that. So I was able to get some nice rush shots, just kind of coming over the river, over the ships, by this dilapidated neighborhood, and just end up on the junkyard with the New York City skyline in the back. So
cool.
It was good. I was happy I got into, like, they had a list of things that they wanted in a shot, and I think I got all. I hope they like it. Of course, you know, they make it.
Why wouldn't they like it? It looks great to me.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see if it works for the film. That's the important part. So that was my fun. That and a lot of driving. Actually.
Yeah, I did a lot of driving too.
Yeah. So do you like
did more than me though.
Yeah, Staten Island is a long drive. But I scouted a few other places that I needed along the way too. And it's 2 jobs, so it's pretty productive trip. It's not, one little real estate. That probably wouldn't be worth it.
Yeah, you guys
that
had
long of a drive.
How many locations did PhotoFlight shoot today?
3. No, Paula was
Paula
out
did
too.
5 or
Paula did 3, I think.
3?
Yeah, so 1, 2, 3. I got 2.
And then we had the 1.
5, and you had 1, so 6
and
different.
And then Mike's on his way to Houston.
As we speak. So 6 different.
To do 12.
6 different projects, locations in one day. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Spring is here, so everybody's up and running now, which is great. Okay, well, that was behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing. I can wait to hear some more adventures, or hopefully we get to swing the 2 operator too at some point, so we can talk a little more about this.
And we can post a picture of the helicopter too.
Yeah, and you guys can check out the show notes. You can find them at dronephotographypodcast.com. If you have any questions for Micah or comments, constructive. Don't hurt his feelings, please. I need him.
Yeah, I'll be fine.
This wouldn't work as a one-man mission, so I just keep it nice.